Today we are going to be crocheting this quick and easy slouchy beanie that shouldn't take more than an hour or two to complete, and this tutorial is great for beginners or brand new crocheters. And for our beanie, I am going to be working with the Buttercream Roving wool yarn, and I will be using the entire skein, which is 115 yards, and this is a size 5 bulky yarn. I'm also going to be working with a size K or 10.5 or 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. And you will need a scrap piece of yarn or a stitch marker. So we're going to begin with a magic loop or a magic circle. So to do that, take your tail and drape it over your working yarn to create a loop. Go ahead and pinch that intersection and insert your crochet hook. From here, we're going to yarn over and pull up through the loop like this. And I like to sort of hold on to my loop with a few fingers. From here, we're going to chain 2. So to do that, you're going to yarn over and drop the loop on your crochet hook. We're just going to do that twice. From here, we're going to place 12 double crochets inside of this magic circle. So when we're working these stitches, we want to work them inside of this loop, as well as over this little tail here. So to do that, yarn over and then insert your crochet hook in the loop, then yarn over and pull up through the loop. So you should have 3 loops on your crochet hook. From here, we're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops, and then yarn over and drop our last 2 loops. And that marks our first double crochet. So from here, we're going to add a second double crochet by yarning over and working inside of our loop, yarning over and pulling up through, and then yarning over and dropping 2 loops at a time. From here, pull your crochet hook out nice and long, and we are going to go ahead and mark the first double crochet that we placed right here. So this is the top of your stitch, and you can see that it forms this sort of V. So what we're going to do is insert our crochet hook in that first V, and we're going to slide our scrap piece of yarn in this stitch. Just like that. And if you're not a beginner, you can omit that step for this row. This is just to help beginners find that first double crochet when they get back around. And once you have your 12 double crochets, grab a hold of your little tail here, and I want you to pull it nice and tight to close the gap in your magic circle. From here, you can see this is the first stitch of our row that we marked. So we're going to begin by working in this stitch right here so we can keep our stitch marker in it while we work if we need to be able to see it, or you can remove it, which I'm going to do. So from here, we're going to place 2 double crochets in that stitch, just like this. And after we place our first 2 double crochets, then we're going to mark that first one. So you can see this is the double crochet that we just created, so we're going to mark the second one there. We're going to reinsert our crochet hook and pull on our working yarn to tighten that up. So from here, we're just going to place 2 double crochets in each stitch going all the way around until we meet back up with our stitch marker. And we don't want to work in the stitch with the stitch marker, but just the stitch directly in front of it. So when you get done, you should have a total of 24 double crochets, or 24 of these V portion of your stitches. And when you get back around to your stitch marker, you can go ahead and remove it. So from here, we're going to alternate between placing 1 double crochet in our next stitch and then 2 double crochets in our following stitch. So we're just going to alternate between 1 and 2, going all the way around. So like I said, you're going to make sure you mark that first stitch like we've been doing, and then you're just going to alternate between your 1 and 2 double crochets. So you should have a total of 36 double crochets when you're done. And so now your pattern should look something like this. We're going to remove our stitch marker. And the pattern for this row is going to be to place 1 double crochet in your first 2 stitches and then 2 double crochets in your third stitch. So we're just going to repeat that pattern going all the way around our row, and when we get done we should have a total of 48 double crochets. And don't forget to mark that first stitch of your row. So now you can see our circle is getting really big, and we're going to remove our stitch marker. And the pattern for this row is to place 1 double crochet in our first 3 stitches here, and then 2 double crochets in our fourth. And we're going to repeat that going all the way around, so we should have a total of 60 double crochets when we're done. So now your circle should be nice and large. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to remove our stitch marker, and all we're going to do is place 1 double crochet in each stitch in each of our rows, allowing our pattern to still be a spiral, and that's going to build the body of our beanie. And I placed about 7 rows of placing 1 double crochet in each stitch in each of my rows. So what we're going to do from here is decrease down 1 row. So go ahead and grab your stitch marker again, and we're going to place 1 double crochet in our next 3 stitches, and we do want to mark the first stitch of this row the same way we were marking it before. And once you have your first 3 double crochets, then we're going to double crochet together our next 2 stitches. So to do that, yarn over and insert your crochet hook in your next stitch, then yarn over and pull up through. So you should have 3 loops on your crochet hook. From here, we're going to yarn over and drop 2 of those loops. So now you should have 2 loops on your crochet hook. From here, we're going to yarn over and insert our crochet hook in our next stitch and yarn over and pull up through. Then we're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops and yarn over and drop our last 3 loops on our crochet hook. And that was to double crochet 2 stitches together. So from here, we're just going to repeat that pattern, placing 1 double crochet in our next 3 stitches, and then double crocheting 2 stitches together. We're going to repeat that going all the way around our row, and when we get done, we should have a total of 48 double crochets. And when you get to the end of your row, you can remove your stitch marker again. And from here, all we're going to do is switch to placing single crochets. And we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch in our row. So to work a single crochet stitch, you're going to insert your crochet hook in your next stitch and yarn over and pull up through. Then yarn over and drop your 2 loops to complete the single crochet stitch. So like I said, we're just going to follow that same continuous loop or spiral pattern, and we're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch in each of our rows, and we want to do this until we're almost out of yarn. I went ahead and added about 4.5 rows of the single crochet stitch. So from here, we're going to place one slip stitch in our next 5 or so stitches. And you want to make sure you've crocheted your single crochet stitch until you have about a foot or a foot and a half of yarn left over. So to place your slip stitch, all you're going to do is insert your crochet hook in your next stitch and then just yarn over and pull through all the loops on your crochet hook. So like I said, we're just going to place a few slip stitches. I think I'm going to place about 5. And you want to keep these slip stitches nice and loose. Once you've placed your slip stitches, then go ahead and yarn over and pull all the way through that loop like this. And that's how you tie off your yarn. From here, I'm going to hide my tail along the edge of my beanie for about 3 stitches, and then I'm going to draw it up the inside of my beanie. And now you are done with your ultra slouchy beanie. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Crochet with Julie. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.